The LEGO Ninjago movie. It's a pretty risky move for Warner Bros. To release two animated LEGO movies in 1 year, both of which being spin-offs to the original. At the start of 2017, audiences got a good kick out of the first spin-off of the LEGO movie with the LEGO Batman movie. In fact, many people, including myself, would even say that it was actually one of the best Batman movies in years. Who would expect that the little LEGO version that loves to make fun of itself be superior to the big-budget live-action serious one? With the second spin-off film, it's a little bit of the same idea where you blend the elements of the 2014 film with an already existing property, which in this case is LEGO's very own Ninjago, filled with ninjas, martial arts, and all sorts of warlords and samurais. So now that Warner Bros. Has opened a new set to play with, will Ninjago keep the LEGO spirit alive by still making everything awesome? Or should it be time to take a break from playing with pointless toys? Let's find out! The story. An important piece of information to tell you guys about this film is that Lloyd is Garmadon's son. I know that sounds obvious to those who have at least seen the trailers of the movie, but the reason why I mention this is because that little fact is the majority of the story. One of the biggest issues with this film is the way that it really tries hard to force in the themes of a father and son relationship. Sure, subtlety was never the LEGO movie franchise's strongest asset, but with this theme, it always feels like it's trying to hammer it in to where it's hard to really get enveloped in the heart of the feature. Not only that, but it also makes the story itself a bit predictable, since it focuses so much on Lloyd's character arc and the development of his relationship with his dad. It's too bad it does that though, because when it comes to the other components in the writing, it does show some promise. You can tell there's some substance when crafting the world of Ninjago, almost like a superhero environment filled with unique areas that help give more background to the characters along their journey.
Do you want to be a follower, or do you want to be a leader?
Leader?
How dare you? I need follower!
Even when it comes to the humor of the film, there are times when it can get some good jokes out there. However, as there are some funny moments, the humor overall is a mixed bag where there are other times when it feels like the movie would drag a joke for far too long, thinking that it can be as funny as the LEGO movie. And that's what the movie's biggest problem is. It's trying to emulate what made the LEGO movie so successful. It wants to copy the ridiculous tone, the never-ending supply of action and comedy, the grand scale of the visuals, and even the theme of father and son bonding that's been done in both previous films. It's giving us what we already had instead of finding its own identity as a LEGO Ninjago movie. It has some promise to make a good story, but the execution is what keeps it away from the levels of its predecessors. The animation. Even if it does want to be the LEGO movie, we would at least have the confidence that it will capture the look of it with some great animation. And in that aspect, it does work. For the most part. Yes, the best thing that this movie offers is within the visuals, where about 95% of the movie looks like it is made out of Legos. It even shows that the animators took the time to put in all the details to make the world look like it's made of plastic, where the seams would show and have those small prints that say the number of the piece or the LEGO logo itself. Rather it be from a master shot or a close-up, you can find the details everywhere from the buildings to all the inhabitants to all the different giant mechs. In terms of the latter, that's where the creativity really shines, presenting them in a large scale and how they work all around the city, whether they're made to save it or destroy it. Oh, which reminds me, in a movie where the main selling point is to see ninjas in action, it does deliver on that aspect well. It offers plenty of scenes where the ninjas get to fight off hordes of bad guys, escape dangerous roads, and more, with a lot of great shots to see them in battle and sprinkle in some humor to make them fun to watch. However, if I must criticize something about the animation, then let me bring back the notion of how it's trying to be the LEGO movie. You see, what made the original a visual marvel is how it captures the feeling of stop motion, paying homage to the fan films where they use the medium with their Legos to craft their work. Here, however, it's constantly on and off where sometimes it wants to do that, and then it makes the animation smooth and scrap the anatomical limits of a Lego character.
Ow! Ow! Huh?
That, and there is that other 5% where the things aren't made out of Legos. The cat is okay, but it would be better to have some of the effects be made out of Legos too. The reason why I bring this up is because the more the movie does that, the less it feels like a Lego movie. It may have a few out of place pieces, but at least the animation does make it look like a strong set. The characters. As much as I would like to talk about the large cast, the movie only focuses on a few characters. And honestly, they're not all that great. It's not really that they're hateable or anything like that, they're just recycled dull archetypes. Let's start off with Lloyd, the guy that the whole city hates because he's the son of Garmadon, but is also the beloved leader of the secret ninja force as the Green Ninja. He can often be blinded with rage by his daddy issues, but his ultimate goal is to let go of that in order to become a true master ninja. With the way that the writing offers very little risks, Lloyd doesn't give much surprises to the movie. Then there's his dad, Lord Garmadon, the villain of the feature that always terrorizes the city so he could rule it. I'll give him that he does have a well-crafted backstory, and Justin Theroux provided an enjoyable performance. The only issue with him, though, is that it's noticeable that he's trying to emulate Lord Businessman, both in appearance and with his comical tone. As for everyone else, well, there isn't much to cover, since the movie mostly looks at the two I've just mentioned. Lloyd's friends and ninja comrades do present a unique personality that can offer a lot of possibilities for the film, but with the small appearances that they have, they end up feeling like a one-dimensional crew.
Dude, give me a hug, man. Give me a birthday hug.
That's a good one.
Guys, check out my new paint job.
The only other character that would have some good screen time is Master Wu, the Secret Ninja Force's master. Thankfully, he's able to add something new to the table with his wise knowledge and sharp wit, along with a good background history with the characters as the brother of Garmadon. While the characters are passable with what they've presented, they still didn't offer a lot that we haven't seen before. The LEGO Ninjago movie can debatably be a good film, but it's safe to say that this is so far the weakest LEGO movie. While the film does contain some of the franchise's signature elements like great action-packed animation and some good humor, it tries so hard to copy the LEGO movie instead of being its own film that it ends up hurting itself and looking repetitive, resulting in a weak story, an obnoxiously forced-in theme of father and son bonding, and characters that hold some promise but never had time to present them. It's hard to say that this is a bad movie, so it would be acceptable as a little rental. If you are a big fan of the LEGO movie franchise though, I recommend putting down your expectations to something that can decently give you a bit of entertainment. If there is one big lesson to take from this movie, it's that it's more important to be yourself than copy someone else to be successful. I mean, that's what Batman did with his movie, and it turned out great. So if you want people to think you're cool, don't be a Ninjago, be a Batman.
So, they've all got their quirks, you know?